Hey, G-Mann here. I want to give you a bit of a history before we get stuck into my bike and a few of the mods here. I haven't been riding along, and in fact it was Spook, who my good buddy, who does a lot of these videos on the aftermarket stuff that he's got, the bags that he has, and he also showed you his bike. But the one thing that he told me to do, we were planning a trip to Mongolia, Russia, Siberia. That was supposed to be 2020 this year in August, and something happened. So closed the country down and we didn't end up doing it. But the goal was for me to get my motorbike license. So I've really, at the ripe old age of 59, got myself a bike license. And by August I was allowed to, I think I was still on my restricted. And the bikes they were going to be using over in Russia were going to be the DR650s, the Suzukis. So I got myself one of those. It was a great little bike to pound around on. And instead of us going overseas to do our trip, what we decided to do was that we went around Queensland. There's some great shots of that. I'm sure you'll be able to see some of it as we're having a look at some of the mods. So I upgraded from that. I sold that bike there, and I had to upgrade because it just didn't have anything on it. It was pure and simple, an off-road bike, no panniers, no speedometer, or there was a speedometer, but no gauges on it. So I was really running blind, and there wasn't even a power bank on there. So I was really frustrated with it. So then I upgraded to this little beauty here, and this this is badged as an F650GS. Now let's take a walk around the bike. The one thing that I do love here is I just got these brand new tyres here, so they've only done about 140 k's. You'll be able to see the brand name on there. It's a 70-30 what they call a 70-30 mix. So 70% more on road, 30% more off road. That's the Metzler here. So far really pleased with it. I can't complain about it, because what I had on here before was just the road tyres. And coming up and down a track like this, as you see, man, I'll tell you what, we were slipping all over the place. Let's move up the bike here. You'll see I've got this aftermarket windshield here. Already riding it for about 1,000 kilometers. I'm noticing a few things that have happened here, so I'm just going to have to go and get this fixed. We will talk about the GoPro that we have got, but I've put a couple of GoPro mounts on here. If you come down the bottom here also, I've got this Gorilla, well, not so much a Gorilla grip, the GoPro grip, where we can just undo all these and we can move them around the bike as we want. But these come in really handy for doing backward shots, forward shots, and of course on the back of the bike and having a look at backwards. Can you hear the serenity here? That noise there is white noise. Listen to that. So this is Australia in the summer. So we are right in the middle of December. We're about 4 days away from Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. All right, come around here. Comes with the GS is the Bark Busters. I think these are standard with this. And of course, I'm loving it because I have dropped it a few times. And one time was in the sand, which wasn't too bad. And if you knock over to Barry's video on how to pick up a bike, man, that did come in really handy, because the 3 ways that he shows you was one of the ways that we picked this bike up. Come right around here. I've got now the quad lock here, a little bit different to some of the other quad locks that you'll see. I don't have my phone with me at the moment, but it just simply clicks on and then she sits there. I've got an aftermarket. The European cigarette lighters, European adapters are very different to the Australian adapters. The Australian ones are fairly thicker. So here I can just put this in here, this little sucker in here. This powers it up, and then I've got my iPhone charger, which will just go into the iPhone here. So that comes in fairly handy. I do take it out every now and then because I do notice that maybe it might use up a bit of power. I don't know, you'll be able to tell me that. As I said, I've only just got the bike, but I think it might drain a little bit of the power as we move along. One of the other things that I'd put on here, if you have a look at this, because we ride with GoPros on any of the mounts, I've also got a chest mount, is this little remote that I've had from the GoPro 4. And so now I've got the GoPro 8 black. But if you have a look just quickly here how I've detached this, and surprisingly enough, that's on fairly tight, just on Velcro. And I've been riding this, I rode this about 3,000 kilometers on the old bike, and she didn't come off, so that's fairly handy over here. Come down the bottom here, the crash bars, I don't know what brand or what make they are. These came with the bike itself, and really handy. So of course, like I said, I dropped it once or twice. These come in really handy, and also protects me from not having to have my legs crushed by the weight of the bike. I'm not too sure the weight of this bike here. I would probably think maybe 150 kilos or maybe 170 kilos. I'm sure you'll be able to tell me in the comments. So yeah, 170 kilos. If you had a look at the Africa Twin that Barry did a video on, that's 250 kilos. So you're thinking another, you're thinking another 75 kilos on top of that. I do have this came again with the bike. Now keep in mind all the time when I'm speaking here that I bought this just stock standard. Everything that you see on the bike here, pretty much with a few things that I'll mention, comes stock standard. So I've got the stand, the stand where I can just put it up and I can change the chain on there if I have to, or I can oil my chain. I don't have anything on here that makes this any bigger, but I did hear of a bit of a hack. If you watch Fortnite or 40 times round, those boys, what they do sometimes is they put a little credit card under the bottom here, and the credit card, an old credit card, not your new one. You put your old credit card underneath that, and that should do the trick if you're in some sort of sand and you're thinking it's going to slip here. I don't have anything on the pads here, on the pedals here. It just comes as is. Around the back here, if we have a look at, now I'm not too sure about the exhaust here. I don't know whether it's an aftermarket, but I'm pretty sure that when I have a look at this, it doesn't look like it fits with this bike, so I'm pretty sure it's an aftermarket bike, aftermarket exhaust. If you have a look at the seat also, the seat here is also an aftermarket seat. Right around the back here, it came with one pannier, which was really strange. You would have thought that it would come with at least the side panniers. That's been a bit of a headache too, trying to get the panniers for this one here. The first time it was, they got me the wrong style. We were going away for our trip, and then I ended up having to just put a big duffel bag over the back. It really was just awkward. But I'm glad I've got now 3 panniers. I don't have it with me. At the moment, what I've got in the pannier here is I've just got my drone. And I'll just fit some cool shit in here. Some cool stuff in here as we go along. Pretty happy with that. We talked about the tyres, of course. The metal, these are brand new as well. So brand new, like I said, maybe 140 kilometers, not even. This is a good test, what we're doing here today. We wanted to test it out, do some drone shots, get out in the forest and listen to this serenity here. I think it's great. So I'm guessing that this is something like protecting the brake fluid reservoir that's in here. So this is an aftermarket stuff here. I'm guessing this is pretty handy to have. I've got the rear pegs here. I haven't used it yet, but it would be pretty handy if I wanted to strap something down like my duffel bag that I had. I have got here on the brakes, I have got the extended foot grip, or the brake grip, that I think comes in fairly handy. As you can see, the little black one down here is not very big. So having a look at overall, what would I give this for myself as a first bike? So this is the first bike. I've only been riding since August, and now we're September, October, November, December, 4 months down the track, and I am absolutely loving it. And if somebody ever wants to tell you that, get yourself a bike, it's cheap. Yes, everything is cheap that you get on a bike. Everything is cheap. So that's my bike, that's my ride. I don't think there's too much more that I can show you. But please, if you like this and you like what you see, don't forget to share this around. Subscribe to our channel. We're only new. We're starting off. We're a couple of old fellas here. We've done some videos in the past, but we're just a couple of old dudes just getting out there and enjoying the serenity as you see it out here. So that's my ride. Thanks very much for joining us. Like and subscribe in the comments below. We'll talk to you soon.